Hello everybody, Untitled here, and welcome back to another video. I have something to admit. Over the last few months, I have been slowly pondering and gradually solving the puzzle of the lore of Minecraft, taking theories and subtle clues from other YouTubers such as MatPat or Retro Gaming Now, and from the game itself, all into consideration as I slowly work toward knowing all there is to know about the lore of Minecraft. Today, I will be painting part of the picture of Minecraft lore according to my theorizing in your mind and explaining to you Minecraft's 7 intelligent species or races. This is the 7 races of Minecraft explained. And these races are player, villager, illager, braconite, piglin, wither, and skulk. With that out of the way, let's do some explaining. Players. In Minecraft, the player, also referred to as the builder or human, is the race you are. Players originated in the overworld and were there since the beginning, although they were not always present. Although they have a one-of-a-kind skill of being able to place and destroy most blocks extremely quickly in comparison to other races and can build large and cool-looking structures out of these blocks, their skill at magic is virtually non-existent in comparison to other races such as the illagers and braconites. Furthermore, players are the only race that are not unified to work towards common goals, with it being rare to see more than 10 players working together towards anything, which is very different than the ways the other races, where almost all, if not all, of the individuals of the race work together towards common goals. When 2 or more players encounter each other, they will often exchange items, often by means of occurrences such as diamonds, will often fight each other, usually until one of them dies. Players were, unfortunately, very susceptible to the virus that wiped out much of the overworld and returned into zombies and almost went extinct. They're neutral to other players, neutral to villagers as well, who, although they rarely attack, will force the trade of them for resources endlessly and capture and abuse, often zombifying them over and over again, forcing their prices lower and lower with no regard for their mental or physical health. Players are also neutral to the piglins. Players have no reason to attack or provoke the piglins, and they barely interact. However, piglins are known to attack the players when they are not wearing gold, and humans are known to give piglins gold to trade with them, even though their trades are often not worth it. For whatever reason, players are inherently hostile to illagers and withers, and these races are often hostile to them back. This is usually because players find the items that the races often own valuable. Some examples of these are wither skeletons, skulls, nether stars, and totems of undying. Players are also hostile towards skulks, but they find the skulks threatening. When braconites are still alive, players were allies with them. 2 species can progress faster when together than apart. For the player's skill at building, when partnered with the braconite's skill at magic, made it the best decision for both species to work together. The race of the players has now been fully explained. So, with that out of the way, let's continue. Villagers. Villagers live a simple life. They live exclusively in the overworld and always have, in small villages located in many different biomes, from savannas to tundras to plains. They work hard day after day, enjoying their individual occupations. They will often trade with other villagers in addition to players by means of emeralds, and used to do the same with braconites before they went mostly extinct. Although they are defended by powerful iron golems that were originally created by the braconites, these guardians could not completely defend the innocent villagers against the virus, and many were turned into zombie villagers. However, they have become mostly immune over the years. Adult villagers are exactly 2 blocks tall, and babies are 1 block tall. Villagers are, as mentioned before, neutral to players. If you want a reminder on the exact details on the relationship between the 2 races, go back in the video. They are also neutral to the piglins. The 2 races do not even know of the existence of each other, for piglins stay exclusively in the nether, while villagers stay in the overworld. Same is also true for withers, although withers would likely attack villagers on sight. Villagers and braconites are allies, as well as being allies to players and braconites. This is shown by the fact that the braconites created iron golems for the sole purpose of defending the villagers. The reason for this friendship is unknown, but the 2 races have always been on good terms with one another. Villagers, although not explicitly hostile to the skulks, dislike them and the things they have to do. The villagers are unsettled by the order of dominance and know the skulks are possessed by it. Villagers are explicitly and unquestionably hostile towards the illagers. The illagers, who were originally villagers, were exiled from villager society after dealing with souls. It aggravated the illagers, who needed to charge their soul and experience energy somehow, and made them use the villagers for this purpose, conducting frequent raids on them. The 2 races have been enemies ever since. Speaking of illagers, let's move on to them. Illagers. Illagers are villagers that were cast out of villager society long ago. They have pale gray skin and are made up of several subspecies, including the pillager and evoker. They are enemies of the villagers and often use them to farm experience and souls. They are completely different races at this point, them being significantly more advanced, especially when it comes to matchup. The things they do to villagers to create Vindicators, Ravagers, and Vexes is unquestionably terrifying. Villagers are trying hard to access other dimensions and are scarily close to making it into the Nether. They also, although not fully corrupted by the Orb of Dominance, are attracted to and swayed by it. Their ultimate goal is through all three dimensions, and they see obtaining the power of the Orb of Dominance as the method to obtain such leadership. However, being in possession of such a dangerous artifact likely spell doom for several races, including their own. Their relationships with the humans and villagers have been already explained. They are hostile to the Brackenites for being allies of both the players and the villagers, as well as being competitors with them for the Orb of Dominance. They see the Skulks in a similar light. Competitors to the ownership of the Orb of Dominance. Although them and the Withers do not yet know about each other, the two races would probably compete for soul energy. Their relationship with the Piglins is probably the best. Although they do not know about each other yet, I would predict that their relationship would be sour but not hostile, for the Piglins would not be competing with the Illagers for anything that either race found valuable. However, Illagers are unlikely to think or know to wear gold armor, which will, at least initially, make the two races somewhat hostile towards each other. With players, villagers, and Illagers out of the way, let's move on to the mysterious Brackenites. Brackenites are dead. They no longer exist. They do not exist in the game. The evidence points towards their existence. When they were alive, these humanoid, water-living beings were actually a highly advanced civilization known for their one-of-a-kind ability to create powerful artificial life, or robots, basically. These included the Iron Golem, Snow Golem, Guardian, Elder Guardian, and Ghast. They also knew more than any other race about the inner workings of the Minecraft universe, even exceeding the Illagers and players. As soon as the Skulks transported the Orb of Dominance to the overworld from the End Dimension, the Brackenites were captivated by its power. They fell victim to its cruel clutches and were left corrupt, which occurred around the same time as the outbreak of the zombie plague, and the Brackenites all fell, half being zombified by the zombie plague and half being driven to insanity by the Orb of Dominance. Both fates turned the once great Brackenites into the crazed, rageful Drowns. The Drownfall was regarded in other races as something that could not be repeated under any conditions, and is still regarded as a cautionary tale to this day. As mentioned before, Brackenites were the allies of both the players and the villagers. They were enemies of the Illagers and Skulks and neutral to the Withers. However, the relationship with the Piglins is fascinating. At first, the two races were neutral. The Brackenites had found the technology that made the portal between the dimensions possible, but because of their reliance on water, would die almost immediately in the Nether. Thus, they enlisted the players to explore the new dimension, the Nether, that they had discovered a gateway to, and bring them back half of the valuable resources that were found there. The players agreed. As mentioned before, Piglins and players are neutral to one another. When the players returned to the overworld, they told the Brackenites of their findings, and the Brackenites also decided to be neutral towards the Piglins if the two ever encountered each other. Many years passed, and the relationship between the two species stayed the same. However, everything changed when the Brackenites were corrupted by the Orb of Dominance. The Brackenites wanted the one thing that was dearest to Piglins, the raw netherite, and materials stronger and more durable than anything the Brackenites knew about. The Brackenites sent their new robot, and his newest robot, a stronger version of the Ghast, to the Nether to harass the Piglins and steal the raw netherite. However, the Piglins stopped the heist as it was happening and destroyed half of the powerful enhanced Ghast, but not before the netherite was stolen. The raw netherite is now lost, and no one except the Piglins' highest ranks, known as the Piglin Brutes, possesses it. The robot stayed in the Nether and has slowly been deteriorating in the Ghast we know today. The heist was unsuccessful and detrimented both societies greatly. On the topic of Piglins, let us now talk about them. Piglins. The Piglins are native to the Nether. In fact, they cannot leave the Nether, for they will immediately fall victim to the zombie plague if they did. They were once a great species who have fallen from greatness through multiple incidents. They are expert miners and fighters who have having mined out all of the Nether's raw netherite, one of Minecraft's rarest materials. Once a great species, the Piglins were brutally thrown from greatness. The relationships of the players, villagers, Illagers, and their fascinating relationship with the Brackenites have already been explained. What about the Withers and the Skulks? The relationship with the Withers is also very interesting. Though the Withers make the Nether a place where animals and people could live, Piglins have never realized this. Thus, the two races are hostile towards one another. The relationships of the Skulks are much less complicated. The two races do not even know about the existence of one another. Withers. The Withers are also a fascinating race. The race does not just include the Wither boss itself, but also other species in its life cycle, those being the Wither skeleton and the Wither rose, yes, the flower. This race harvests the energy that supports life in the Nether and makes the dimension hospitable, doing so by literally murdering innocent members of other species, mainly piglins and players, and harvesting their soul energy to maintain the Nether's fascinating ecosystem. Over the years, they've evolved to more quickly, efficiently, and safely harvest its soul energy by any intelligent organism that finds itself in the Nether. They're literally the definition of an apex predator. As mentioned before, they are hostile to basically everything intelligent they come into contact with. Although they do not yet know about the villagers, illagers, or skulks, they would likely attack any of those races on sight. Skulks. The Skulks are also a very interesting race. They are native to the end dimension and spread their essence into the other dimensions, and have accidentally created a plague that has infected 3 out of the overworld's 4 races. Being extremely mysterious and identified with their signature dark turquoise color and a highly advanced society, they're very powerful fighters and a force to be reckoned with. They were the first race to be corrupted by the Orb of Dominance and might have created it, although it is unclear whether this is true or not. This artifact caused them to use all of their power to attempt to take control of the end and overworld. The end in addition to the overworld. Their attempt to take over the overworld led to the Orb of Dominance being transferred to the overworld, thus corrupting the Brackenites and possibly the Illagers too in the future. As mentioned before, the Skulks are neutral to villagers and piglins and hostile to players, Illagers, Brackenites, and Withers. And with that, we've successfully explained all 7 of Minecraft races according to my mental image of the game's lore. Now the players, villagers, illagers, Brackenites, piglins, and Withers have been explained to you. It is now a good time to end the video, for it would be useless to me to just keep rambling. With that, please join the new Discord server I've set up on the community at discord.gg/5ncsp3vvvs. The link will also be in the description down below. Before you go, please like the video and subscribe to my channel, or else. Jokes aside, I'll see you in the next video, and goodbye.